What if I told you that most men completely overlook the way a woman greets them when she secretly likes them? A glance, a touch, a certain hesitation in her words. These are not coincidences, they're signals. And if you don't recognize them, you'll miss your chance before it even begins. But don't worry, because today, we're revealing 7 ways a woman greets you when she really likes you. Some of these signs are so subtle they'll shock you, and one in particular, well, let's just say, if you see it, she's all in. Please like video and subscribe my channel. Let's dive in. And no, hey, what's up, doesn't count. We're talking about real psychological cues here. 1. The delay that's not a delay. Ever noticed a woman pausing before she greets you? That tiny hesitation before she says your name? That's not just a coincidence. It's her brain processing excitement, adjusting because she feels something when she sees you. Her emotions are in overdrive, and for a brief second she's recalibrating. This is a classic psychological cue. If she effortlessly greets others but stumbles for a moment when saying your name, that's a telltale sign of attraction. She's not just greeting you, she's feeling something while doing it. That pause is where emotions mix with overthinking. If she takes longer than 3 seconds, don't panic. She's either super into you, or she just forgot how to say your name. Either way, you've got her attention. This hesitation is the first unspoken sign that she likes you. But what happens when she personalizes her greeting even more? Well, that's where things get really interesting. 2. The name drop, and why it matters. There's power in a name. It's one of the most personal words in a person's life. And when a woman intentionally uses your name often, it's not random, it's psychological. If she greets you with "Hey John," instead of just a casual "Hey," she's personalizing the interaction. That name drop? That's her subconscious way of creating a deeper connection. Here's why. Saying your name triggers oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It's the same chemical responsible for feelings of trust and attachment. When a woman likes you, she wants to feel that connection. And the easiest way to strengthen it? By making your name part of her vocabulary. Of course, if she's saying your name after every sentence, she might just be practicing for a spelling bee. But in most cases, this is a sign of genuine interest. But here's where things get even more interesting. There's an even stronger way a woman personalizes her greeting. If she does this, she's not just interested, she's invested. And once you recognize it, you'll never miss it again. 3. The slightly extended eye contact. It's not just about eye contact, it's about how long it lasts. Most people glance at each other briefly during a greeting, but a woman who's attracted to you? She'll hold eye contact for just a fraction of a second longer than usual. It's subtle but powerful. That moment where her eyes meet yours, linger slightly, and then, poof, it's gone. That's not accidental. Why does it matter? Because prolonged eye contact triggers emotional arousal. It creates a subconscious sense of closeness, making you feel more connected. Studies show that just a few extra milliseconds of eye contact can increase attraction. It's Psychology 101. Her brain is signaling interest before she even realizes it herself. Of course, if she's staring at you for 5 minutes straight, well, that's not attraction, that's a staring contest. And unless there's a prize involved, it's probably time to look away. But in most cases, that extra second of eye contact, it's deliberate. It's her way of saying, I see you, and I like what I see. But what happens when her voice changes along with that gaze? If she does this next thing when greeting you, she's more than interested. She's giving away her real feelings. 4. The high-pitched hi, and what it reveals. Now let's talk about her voice, because it's a dead giveaway of attraction. When a woman greets you, pay close attention to the pitch of her voice. Women naturally raise the pitch of their voice when they're excited or attracted to someone. It's an unconscious response, her way of showing that she's happy to see you. If her hi sounds softer, sweeter, or more playful than it does when she greets others, that's a clear sign she's trying to draw you in. It's biology at work, not just a coincidence. That little shift in tone is her way of signaling interest. Her voice changes, and you feel the difference. Her excitement is practically vibrating through her words. But don't get distracted by just the tone. Listen closely to the warmth in her voice too. It shows how much she cares to make this moment personal for you. But here's the real kicker. What if she doesn't raise her voice at all? What if she lowers it instead? Now that's a whole different level of attraction, and we're about to dive into that. Stay tuned for a revelation that'll change how you hear every greeting from now on. 5. The physical touch that doesn't mean anything. Here's a secret. No touch is ever meaningless, especially when it comes from someone who's attracted to you. If a woman playfully taps your shoulder, gently touches your arm, or lightly brushes against you during a greeting, she's testing the physical chemistry between you. This is not just casual contact. It's a subtle way of gauging how comfortable she feels around you and whether you feel that same spark. Those light touches are her way of saying, "I'm open to more." Women instinctively use touch as a way to communicate without words. If she's testing the waters with a light touch, she's trying to feel out the connection, seeing if the electricity is there. Now, if she punches you in the arm instead of gently tapping it, well, you might want to double-check for bruises before celebrating. But in most cases, those gentle gestures are the real signs of attraction. Remember, the key here is subtlety. She won't be grabbing your arm or holding on too tightly. She's simply introducing touch into the interaction to see how it feels. If you notice this kind of contact happening consistently during your greetings, take note. It's a sign she's opening up to the idea of more than just a casual interaction. But what if she's not touching you at all? What if her greeting is completely hands-off? Well, that's a whole different psychological cue, and we'll dive into that in a minute. Stay tuned. 6. The excuse to linger. Just a little longer. A woman who's attracted to you won't rush through a greeting. She won't just say, "Hey," and then turn and walk away. Instead, she'll find small, subtle ways to extend the moment. It's like she's looking for any excuse to stay in your presence a little longer. Maybe she asks you an unnecessary question, something like, "Oh, how's your day going?" even though she already knows. Or maybe she starts fidgeting with her hair, suddenly becoming very interested in how it's styled. Sometimes she'll even remember something to tell you right then, something that seems totally random, but is really just an excuse to keep talking. These tiny actions are her way of making the moment last. She doesn't want it to end just yet. She's prolonging the connection. You'll notice these little behaviors the more you interact with her. She's subtly signaling that she's not ready to part ways. Now, if she suddenly breaks into a dance to delay leaving, well, maybe it's time to call for backup. But in most cases, this is a sign that she's enjoying the interaction and wants more of it. But here's the kicker. There's one final greeting style that tops them all. If she does this, she's not just interested, she's hooked. Stay tuned because you're about to find out what that is. 7. The silent greeting. When words are unnecessary. Sometimes, the most powerful greetings aren't words at all. They're silent. If a woman sees you and simply smiles, letting her eyes do the talking, without rushing to fill the silence, that's deep attraction. It's not about the words, it's about the moment. Her smile is warm, genuine, and her eyes sparkle with an undeniable connection. She's signaling that she doesn't need words to create something special between you two. The quiet acknowledgement speaks volumes. This type of greeting shows she's completely comfortable around you. She's not relying on words to maintain the interaction because she already feels that bond. Her emotions are clear, and she trusts you enough to let silence do its magic. Of course, if she just stares blankly at you, don't take it personally. She might have just forgotten how to greet people in general. But usually, this silent moment is a big signal. It's in these moments that a lot of unspoken feelings are communicated. The power of silence can't be underestimated. If she greets you this way, it means she's not just interested, she's captivated. And this type of connection, it's rare, but when it happens, it's one of the strongest signs of attraction you'll ever experience. So now you know, women don't always say they like you, but they show it. If you notice even 2 or 3 of these signs, chances are she's into you. The real question is, what will you do next? Just don't freeze and forget how to respond, all right? If you found this insightful, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more deep dives into female psychology. And if you've ever experienced any of these greetings, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, stay sharp, stay aware, and most importantly, pay attention.